Michigan, you were shaking your head like you thought that made sense for them to be looking at Michigan. Why?
Well, given the other results, if he wins Michigan or if he wins Pennsylvania, that closes off all of the paths to 270 for Clinton, and he'll be the next president.
So are there data crunchers somewhere in Team Clinton who are like going into specific counties at this point to look for glimmers of hope?
Yeah, I mean, they're doing basically the same type of math that we've been talking about, which is look at some of the key counties in some of these places, right? Look at Macomb County in Michigan, look at Wayne County where Detroit is, and see how much of the vote is in, how much of the vote is outstanding, and what your margin is, and then do sort of the basic arithmetic on when the rest of that vote comes in, where will that get you?
You know, there was that number, and I want to bring it up for you. The Dow Jones down 750 points. Lauren, for you as a Trump supporter, what do you make of that?
You know what? I think that a lot of the uncertainty surrounding Trump has come from the narrative that he's allowed to take place, right? So all press is good press. He said that the liberal media has painted him in a negative way. I think that's to a certain degree. I think he also loaned himself to being trapped into being painted in a negative way, but I think that's resonated across the world. And so when we see all of the different economic downturns, I think that's just coming from the narrative that the left has pushed out about Donald Trump.
Okay, so what then does Donald Trump need to do to rectify that?
Right. So
on behalf of all of our 401ks.
So the first thing that I would say is he came out with his 100-day plan, and I thought that it was one of the best speeches that he made. I thought it was one of the best policy presentations that he made in the entire campaign. I think he starts to follow that 100-day plan, and he starts tomorrow, wakes up, starts assembling his team to show this is the real President Trump. This is not the celebrity that you've seen on reality TV. This is what I'm going to do moving forward, and he slowly starts to gain the trust of the American people back.
Can we talk about that team?
Can I jump in really quickly as the other Republican on this panel that is not a Trump supporter? America just voted for a candidate that they don't know what they're going to get. The man is proposing high tariffs on products. That means that consumers will be paying higher prices. That means that people won't hire. We just elected a man that does not actually represent conservatives. Like in Washington, D.C., in the beltway of the bubble, think tanks are scratching their head right now saying, oh my God, this guy won on a populist message that does not reflect in any way, shape, or form what people actually are thinking. Like, we can get into the debates about, like, you know, TPP and, like, we want more protections for this, for that. But the point is, we just elected a man that wants
Could
have. Wait. Yeah. That wants more government spending, possibly more than Hillary, right? So that's, like, mind-blowing that we just went there. And he wants more taxes. Stuff needs to get paid somehow, and his plan is tax and spend. So I'm just shocked that, like, America actually voted for a guy that is a wild card, total wild card.
And I want to add to that, like, you can't blame the liberal media for foreign markets saying, oh my gosh, we're all going to heck in a handbasket, right? Like, you can blame the liberal media for what people may say here, but in China and the UK, in Japan, and every other country who's on the planet, they're like, this is dangerous for all of us. They weren't watching Fusion. They figured this out. They figured this out from just looking at the numbers.
All right, I want to hand things over to my colleague now.